Hello everybody, this is Sphero Wi-Fi Studios RC. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a battery again. This is more like how to really improve a battery, but it also shows you how to build a battery. If you didn't watch my first episode about building a battery, it's called How to Build a Battery Part 1. I'm going to change the name, yeah. How to Build a Battery Part 1. Then watch that first, then watch this one. I'm going to be improving this one. As you can see, I already improved it a bit. I put some wood to keep the battery firm, and I put some the cardboard here to keep the joints from coming off, but it's not really working, so I'm going to improve it yet again, but this time I'm going to make a video for it. So first I'm just going to take the battery apart, well, sort of apart, not exactly completely apart. So just cut it apart carefully if you've already made a battery. Yeah, okay, here's the problem. The wire. Oh, I see the problem. I figured out that this is not connected properly. I'm gonna have to resolder this. And then I can continue showing you how to improve the battery. Here we go, all fixed. I must say I'm getting much better at soldering. Soldering is the sort of thing that the more you do, the better you get at it. So it's a nice skill to learn. Very fun, very relaxing. I find soldering very relaxing actually. Anyways, so I finished soldering this. It's much tougher than it was before now. Great. Especially this one. I don't know, this one's a bit thin. I don't know actually, but it is tough still. Anyways, back to the battery. So what we did the last time was we took some solder and we put it across the batteries, the minus and pluses, the negative and positive. You know, here these two are connected, these two are connected, these two are connected, these two are connected, these two are connected. We used the solder, just the little strips of solder. Now the problem with that, I find the problem with that is that they sort of come off sometimes because they're so round and they're not very connected. Like they're not very good. So I'm just gonna continue taking the battery apart. Okay, there we go. Now it's a good idea while you're doing this to keep the battery as flat as possible. Okay. So if you watched the video before this, you might remember that I used just the soldering, right? And before I use the soldering, I tried to use the wire, remember? But I found that the wire was too thin. But now I'm going to use that thin wire to my advantage, as you will see. Alright, now make sure the batteries are clean before you do this, what I'm going to show you. So the first step really, right now, clean the batteries. Now I'm going to get the same wire I tried to use in part 1. And I'm going to use this. Cut a strip like that along, yeah. Cut it a little longer than the width of two of the batteries. So it should be about this long if you're using AA's. Don't know about AA's or other battery you're using. Perfect. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to strip both sides by a little bit, not too much. There we go. As you can see, it's very thin. It's not very thick, but I'm going to use that to my advantage. Now we're going to strip the other side. And that's how it should look like. Almost looks like a resistor, if you think about it. So that's going to go between here and here. Fits perfectly, fits perfectly. Now we just have to do the same exact thing for the rest of the thingamabobbies. So yeah, it really only needs to be this big. It has to be only this big. If you make it bigger, it won't work. Exactly. Oops, that's a mistake. See? But it's alright. Because when I do this one here, if I don't make a mistake, that is. No, I did a mistake. Yeah, so I'm going to have to cut another piece. No matter. You know what? I'll just start with these three here. I'll just start with these three here. But you have to cut you have to cut 5 in total if you're going to make a battery this big. So, now get your soldering stuff. You need solder, well, obviously, and something to solder on. I use a 25-watt soldering tool. Let it heat up. A common mistake people do is they don't heat up their soldering tool enough before they solder, and they sort of try to press the solder to melt, and that's completely wrong. You should not do that ever. So we're gonna let our soldering tool heat up. Nice. So get your wire and put some solder on the wire. Yeah. What's that? There we go. Now get the battery and make sure it's a little stable and figure out how you're going to put it on. I think it'll be like that. Should be good. Yes, this should be fine. And you'll solder it onto the battery. And there we go, finally, solid. Okay, now to do the other, put solder on, you should put solder on both ends before you do it. I should have done that. Good. See that? That is solid. Look at that. It's very, very good. Much better than using solder parts. Like, it's ridiculous. You should see the other episode. It was fine. It worked. But this is much, much better, and it'll probably be even like it will probably even work faster. I don't know how to explain it. It'll be better quality. Anyways, let's do another one. And from here on, yeah, it's just the same thing. You should do it. It's good. This is good. Perfect. Look at that. That's amazing. Okay. Now, so I'm gonna strip two more wires. So then I could do the other last two that I need to do. Watch the part one. Remember, watch part one to understand how it's built. This is just like an improvement. Okay, now let's do this. Let us put them on the battery. There we go. All finished. Ugh. So I'll leave the soldering tool. I'm gonna need it still. Just put a little bit of solder, clean it a little on the sponge, and put a little bit of solder again, very little bit, and just leave it wherever you want to put it. Safely. And now, let us see. Look for any things that might cause problems. Now obviously this is a bit dangerous because, as you know, it's electricity and we're going to be driving in watery areas, or I don't know. But anyways, you want to make this really strong and really safe. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some electrical tape over the wires. Just like that. Mostly just to keep it from moving. Add some more strength, some more downforce. There we go. All electrical taped up. Now make sure your battery is straight as possible for this next part. Okay. Now get some duct tape, or as I like this one a lot, packaging tape. It works very well for batteries. Packaging tape. Whatever you want to call it. There we go. We're going to put this over the side, one of the side with that doesn't have two extra like this, where we're going to put the wires that connect to the car. Wait a second. No. It's wrong. First we need to put another one this way to protect the soldering joints. There we go. Now you can put the tape. The tape is really just to make this waterproof. The tape, not the electrical tape. The electrical tape is to protect the tape. Funny, huh? And now another piece of tape. Now we get the wire that's going to connect to the car. This one here. And remember, black is negative and red is positive. Now we need the soldering tool again. Solder on the wires, the connection. Okay. So red is positive, so we're going to be soldering it to the positive. The positive is this one. It'll show you on the battery which one's positive and which one's negative. So we're going to solder this to the positive. Quite easy, quite easy. Now put some solder on the negative. Nice amount of solder. Now we are going to connect it. If it isn't enough, you could add some more solder. Okay, that should be enough. More than enough. So I'm done now. Both are connected. I'm just going to test it to make sure it works. Just connect the battery. Abracadabra, it works. There you go, lights on. Let's see how much the voltage is, just to make sure I've got it right. Oh man, out of battery. Scale check later. It's not really relevant to this episode here. Point is, strong battery, working, good, homemade, awesome. Just double A's, excuse me, some wire, and some solder. That's it. You could build this for like $10. I just bought, yeah. Unless you don't have a soldering tool. The soldering tool is only $30, sometimes $20 if it's on sale. Like, it's crazy. It's so easy. Okay, now what I have to do is piece of electrical tape over soldering joints. So these here. Looks great. Now I need another piece of soldering tape. Electrical tape. There. Nice and safe. Nice and safe. That way, nobody gets hurt. There we go. Now put another piece of tape. Okay. Now another last piece of tape. And you could wrap some more tape if you like around the battery to make it more and more waterproof. That's a very good idea. To do that, I mean. To make the battery waterproof. You never know. So that's one solid battery. If you want it to be nice and stable, you could put 2 pieces of wood like this. But I'm not going to do that because it's already very strong. Even if it is moving a little bit, it's very good. Okay, remote's on. Let's put the battery right here, like this. Turn it on. There we go. Obviously, you make a little bit of adjustments. But it's good. And as you see, it didn't turn off. It's still on after I just shook it a lot. With the other battery, the one from part 1, whenever I shook the car, it would turn off or something. So this is good. This is very, very good. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please comment, subscribe, and ask questions. I love the questions. As you saw, I answered a few people's questions during the past few months. And I answered full detail. Whenever I have time, I answer full detail. Try to help you as much as I can. Attract more subscribers and attract more viewers to my channel. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching My Fair Studios. See you later. Goodbye. Let's go test it out in the basement, see how it works. Yeah, it's a good idea. Now, where's that thingamabob?